It's your boy Z here, and I'm back with another video, and I'm going to continue my discussion, proving why Joke should pretty much, what Joke did, he deserves to give the people he played against deserves a rematch, okay? And once again, I'm going to show you why the people who basically organized Madden Ball, Joke himself, and the commentators all need to see the actual rules, how many eligible linemen you can have, and what's an eligible receiver. Because let's just be honest, I don't know who was hosting that Madden Bowl tournament. Whoever was hosting that Madden Bowl tournament, you need to be ashamed of yourself. I'm just being honest. I don't know who allowed Joke to get away with using that starting lineup. But again, like I explained in my other video, this guy was quarantined. Okay, you're in your house. The people he played against can't see what this guy is doing. Okay, they can't stop what he's doing. The commentators, I don't know, whoever was organizing that game allowed this to happen. This is why if you're doing tournaments like this, when it's a whole lot of money on the line, you can't do it. You can't allow people to do it from the privacy of their own home, unless they're professionals, right? Joke is not an NFL player himself. He does not play for the league. This is a regular guy who most likely probably doesn't even watch real football. I'll be honest, man. Joke is just somebody that's just here to play video games for a living. He plays Madden, but he don't watch the NFL at all. Because if he really watched the NFL, that he'll know that you cannot have a lineup with over 7 offensive linemen, right? You cannot do that. You can't have linemen on you can't have no offensive linemen lined up at the receiver position because they're not eligible. Okay? So if I'm the president of EA Sports, again, man, that whole tournament needs to be an investigation. I'm talking to a whole lot of people. I'm making phone calls now. I don't know who allowed that to happen. Whoever organized that Madden Bowl, this recent one, they don't need to be doing no more Madden tournaments. Cause I'm telling you, man, something is fishy right now. It's like Joke paid people off to allow that to happen. It's like they did that on purpose, trying to make Joke look good. Because I showed you in my last video, in part 1 and part 2, Dreeny defeated Joke with a regular lineup. If you look at Dreeny's lineup, he had Phillip Rivers at quarterback, right? He didn't have no punter for no quarterback. Yeah, he had Eddie Dickerson, but he also had receivers to block for him. How is Joke have any skills, right? How is he a skillful football player when you're using 9 offensive linemen to block? You got linemen at offensive line that blocks at tight end and the receiver position to block and give them an advantage, right? How is that skill? It don't take skill to do that. It just don't. It don't take skill to exploit the game. Shouts out to Ryan Moody 21 because he's been one of the main ones exposing this nonsense, exposing the problem. It's like something telling me is that Joke went inside the game and actually changed those players' position, which he was not allowed to do. Right? Because if bad enough as it is, Gale Sayers was a 98, 99 overall. Gale Sayers had 99 speed, right? You got a lineup with 9 offensive linemen. So you got a lineup with 9 offensive linemen and a running back with 99 speed. That's going to be hard to stop. That means every 2 or 3 plays, this dude was breaking through the hole because the defense can't stop him. Joke found a way to tire out the defense and wear him out. That's all that happened, right? And then the people he played against, they couldn't adjust properly because the defense AI was not programmed to have a DB guard up against an offensive lineman. It doesn't work in real life. But let me read to y'all these rules because people need to understand that. You people that's praising Joke, congratulating him for this, man. You need to see the rules, right? And this is why I tell anybody that say their game is scripted, y'all need to actually watch it in real life. Right? Actually go to a game, whether it be high school, college, or if you go into an NFL game, you paying $300-400, watch how these teams line up. Because what Joke did in that tournament is not how teams line up in real life. That's an incorrect formation. Right? If the referee was to see that, he'll be getting penalized. That tells me Joke can't be an actual head coach. He just cannot. This dude will be getting penalized every time for that. Let me read to you right now. And I hope Joke is watching because he need to get educated right now. This video right now is to educate y'all on what a correct formation is, right? Now, let me proceed. So, I asked Google at the top, you can't see it now, but I asked them, how many eligible linemen can an NFL team start with, right? Now, here's the answer. And again, I'm on Google right now, right? So, y'all see it, the research. Because, see, I'm not like most YouTubers, or I know people got cutscenes and they know how to edit videos. I'll show you where I actually research, right? I'll show you word for word where I research the questions I'm telling you about. Because people got questions, so I got the answers. So I'm going to basically show you down here on this video, which you can see it, where I'm going to tell you word for word what the rules are. So let me continue. The offense on every play is required to have a minimum of 7 players lined up on the line of scrimmage. So again, 7 players, right, line up on the line of scrimmage. The 2 players on either end must be eligible receivers, and the interior linemen must all be ineligible. So again, Joe Thomas would be considered an ineligible receiver because he's an offensive lineman. He does not play receiver. That's not his position. When you play Madden Ultimate Team, and you have those Madden cards, those are all players who play they correct positions. Meaning, if you got a player card like a Franco Harris that's at running back or fullback, you cannot put him as a if you got him as a running back or a fullback, you cannot put him as an offensive lineman. That's not his position. That's not the position he plays in real life. The same goes with normal players. Right? Say him putting Joe Thomas at tight end. Joe Thomas is not a tight end at all. Right? He is he's a left tackle. He's an offensive lineman. In a real game, if Joe Thomas was lined up at the tight end position, the referee will be penalizing the team itself. Not to forget to mention you having a coach ready to challenge you. Then you have a defense that complain. You cannot be doing that. So let me read this again. It says the offense on every play is required to have a minimum of 7 players lined up on the line of scrimmage. The 2 players on either end must be eligible receivers, and the interior linemen must all be ineligible. So therefore, the lineup that Joke ran against D. Crop, Pavin, and those other opponents was illegal. Everything you need to know about eligibility reporting, right? Eligible numbers, 1 through 19. Quarterbacks, punters, and kickers, right? 1 through 19. Ineligible numbers, 50 through 59. Defensive linebackers, okay? So again, man, even receivers, right? Most receivers can wear 10 through 19. That's permitted, right? And most tight ends wear the 80 numbers, right? Yeah, the running backs and fullbacks wear the 20. They wear 20 through 40. But a lineman that's wearing numbers 50, right? 50 through 59, like they just said, right? 50 through 59, and then you wearing 60 through 79. That's ineligible. You cannot be doing that. Not just offensive linemen, right? Only offensive linemen, like I said, for somebody 50 through 59, that's linebackers only, right? They showed you right here. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that now, right? That says people also ask, can you have 8 players on the line of scrimmage? The offensive team must have at least 7 players lined up on the line of scrimmage. Of the players on the line of scrimmage, only 2 players on the ends of the line of scrimmage are eligible receivers. If, for example, 8 men line up on the line of scrimmage, the team loses an eligible receiver. All right? So you cannot substitute offensive linemen for receivers. That's cheating. I don't care if Joe only wants to run the football. If Joe can't beat somebody running the football with just receivers blocking for him on a tight end, he should not be allowed to play Madden. You're not a Madden player. Again, this is not rugby. There's a difference between rugby and there's a difference between rugby and gridiron football. In gridiron football, it's 11-11. There's passing, right? There's passing, there's running the ball. Nobody in an NFL game just run the ball every game. That just doesn't happen. And plus, Papa knows that the more he runs the ball, the more time runs out faster. So he's taking advantage of the play clock, right, by doing it. Trying to give himself an advantage. Because he himself can't pass. That's been proven already. I showed y'all in my last video when he played against Drini, Joke had a normal, regular lineup, right? He represented the Cleveland Browns. Even though he doesn't watch football, he does not care. That dude can't throw the football at all. Right? Drini actually threw the football on him and had yards. Joke can't do it. That's why you have to find a way to try to exploit the game. Joke found a way he can cheat the game to his advantage. Now let's continue, right? How many eligible receivers can you have in football? The quarterback is one of those 4. And the other are usually running backs, fullbacks, tight ends, and slot receivers. None of them offensive linemen. 6 of 11 players on offense are eligible receivers and can catch a forward pass. The other 5 are ineligible receivers. They cannot catch a forward pass or head downfield before the ball. That means all offensive linemen. Now see, when can an offensive lineman catch a pass? Under almost all versions of gridiron football, offensive linemen cannot receive. Once again, let me repeat this down. Let's read this over, Joe. Again, for everybody for the people who hopped on my Elite Madden video under my comment section, let me read to you right now because the problem with Madden is supposed to represent the NFL. Right? In real NFL, with Joe putting a punter at quarterback, that's illegal too. I know that for a fact. A punter cannot play 2 positions. Right? let's say for example, if Joke would have ran into a situation where, let's say, D-Crap would have shut him down defensively, and he was forced to punt the ball. Because if he goes for it, he's gonna lose. He's gonna turn over and lose yardage and place the opponent back at the 20-yard line. If he was to punt the ball, that means the punter would remain on the field all 4 downs. That's illegal, right? When a team decides they're gonna punt the ball, the quarterback has to immediately leave off the field. Eli Manning is not a kicker, okay? That's what I'm saying. And whoever's you got a punter there's a kicker, right? The kicker only kicks the field goal, and they kick the special teams on the kickoff, right? The punter is somebody who just catch the ball and they punt the ball. They're the ones holding the ball at the PATs. A punter cannot play all 4 downs. Again, let me read this again so y'all understand it. Under almost all versions, gridiron, that means Madden, right? Madden is a gridiron football, right? Is it not? Under almost all versions of gridiron football, offensive linemen cannot receive or touch forward passes, nor can they advance downfield in passing situations. To identify which receivers are eligible and which are not, football rules speculate that ineligible receivers must wear numbers between 50 and 79. Ineligible, meaning Joe Thomas cannot play tight end. That's cheating. That is illegal. Okay? So, Joke, as far as I'm concerned, bro, you cheated. Joke, the money you won, you need to get that back. The people that compete against Joke, they need to refund their money. And for these commentators to even allow that to happen, man, shame on you. These commentators ain't got no business commentating no more. Right? If the president of EA decide they want to take away the Madden Bowl, now you know why. Because you got people like Joke who are willing to cheat the game to win. Right? Now you just said it. Let me read this again. Right? Under almost all versions of gridiron football, offensive linemen cannot receive or touch forward passes, nor can they advance downfield in passing situations. To identify which receivers are eligible and which are not, football rules speculate that ineligible receivers must wear a number between 50 and 79. So these are all linebackers and linemen, right? So the linebackers wear 50 through 59. That's all linemen. That means inside linebacker, middle linebacker, outside linebacker. They wear 50 through 59, right? The other, that means the offensive linemen. Those are numbers in between 60 and 69. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you that now. So now you'll understand it. Yes, there are some running backs. There are some fullbacks that wear 50, but that's fullbacks, right? That's the only ones who are allowed to wear 50 are the fullbacks. But those guys are not receiving the ball. Those guys are blocking. Those guys are not used to pass. They're not used to throw. Yeah, so there are some cases where fullbacks wear 50, but it's very rare. But as far as offensive linemen blocking, no. They cannot be on the line at all trying to block. Now, even in a run play, even if you run a run play, they still can't be on the line because they're not an eligible receiver. Because Joe could just easily run a fake run and try to throw the ball. Okay, again, that is cheating, right? So the fact that him on national TV took the audacity, right, to basically put offensive linemen and thought you could get away with that, then no, hell no. Again, whoever allowed Joke to get away with that, they need to be fired, right? I'll be ready, if I'm one of the participants, I'll be ready to sue for my money. The 65K Joke one, you have to give me that, right? So if I'm D-Craft, right, I hope he's watching. Probably y'all all need to demand a rematch from Joke. Joke needs to give these opponents he played against a rematch in the tournament, right? The tournament he won needs to be canceled. That needs to be null and void. Because again, Madden represents the NFL, right? Just like Ryan Moody has told you. In the NFL, there's no team that has a punter, subbing in for a quarterback, running 2 or 3 plays at a time. Just hand the ball off, running. No, that does not work in the NFL. Because everybody has an appointed position. Punters are there to basically punt the ball on 4th down, right? When a defense is trying to trying to get the offense a disadvantage, right? They don't want to give the offense some field position, so you want to punt the ball. That's what a punter is used for, right? You don't see no punter snapping go under center, right, snapping the ball like that, unless you're going to run a fake, and that's rare. It's rare you see a punter doing fake plays. Right, especially in a situation where you got especially the first and second quarter, right, where there's plenty of time left in a 30-minute quarter, in a 30-minute half, you're not gonna see the punter in all 4 plays. That means in all 4 days, you're not gonna see a punter out there right? Just handing the ball off doing run plays. That doesn't work. Okay? I don't care if Joke gets mad, right? I don't care if you go down my throat. I'm showing you now that it's illegal. So why would Madden allow him to have that type of formation? Again, it's obvious, man. You're not fooling nobody, right? This dude got people's numbers who are not even eligible receivers. They're not allowed to do that. And if Joke went inside the game and changed their numbers again, man, this dude needs to be sued, right? Joke, you need to do the right thing and give all that money back to the people you played against. Again, the participants who compete against Joke in the Madden tournament all need their money back, right? Again, if you're a participant in the last Madden Bowl and you play against Joke, Joke owes you a rematch. If not, he needs to refund you that money. Joke, do the right thing and get that money back. You did not earn that Madden Bowl fairly at all, dude. Because you gave your team an advantage over the defense. You put extra linemen. You put more than 7 linemen. You cannot have more than 7 offensive linemen on the line. And the linemen you put at receiver cannot be receiver because they don't have the actual number. You can't put somebody wearing number 60 at receiver. You cannot do that, brother. That's cheating. And that tells me that whoever was officiating this game was in on this scam. Right? Y'all want to make Joke a success story. You want to make him a Cinderella story, right? This dude lost 10 tournaments. Again, I showed you where Drini beat him. Drini beat Pavin head up, and Drini beat Joke head up. Excuse me. When Drini played Joke, he beat him head up. He beat him with a normal lineup. Joke said it himself, I got pounded. This is Joke who had Lamar Jackson and still couldn't run on Drini because Drini had the perfect defense. Okay? Drini beat him with Phillip Rivers as his quarterback. Right? That's what I'm saying. That Madden Bowl should not count. This is what happens when you allow people to compete at their homes quarantine. So that means pretty much Joke might have been on PC with his controller, because you can do this, right? PC, this I know for a fact. On NBA 2K, there's people who mod the game, and they basically change the players' likeness and image, right? They change the player card. They change these players. They mod them. There's a whole 2K community that allows these players to be modded. So in this Madden tournament, because I watched it on ESPN, I watched the whole thing, right? That's what I said. It's obvious, right? Before the Madden Bowl might have started, right? Joke himself, or he had somebody had help, right? Whether he himself or he had somebody else with him that was in on it, right? That went inside his team, right? He edited his mind. He got his team right with the packs y'all got him to do. And before the Madden Bowl started, he pretty much modded these players' numbers, right? Or he didn't mod it, he modded their position. That means he changed Joe Thomas's position at tight end, which he wasn't supposed to do. That's obvious. He went inside there and he cheated the game. Because I'm showing you the rules here. He was not supposed to have more than 7 offensive linemen. So in other words, Joke went in there and he edited these players' position. He changed the receiver. Again, man, that's foul. And see, of course, none of the people he's playing against is going to say something about it because they're on TV. They don't want to be embarrassed. Right? Because again, there's code of conduct. There's rules on this. But it was up to me. And before I played Joke, if Joke would have played me with that offensive line, with that line he was using, I would have told him, no, you can't play me. If you can't play me with a normal lineup, right, and you got receivers blocking for you, you shouldn't be playing Madden. Now let me show you what an actual formation is, right? I want you to pay close attention to this. Y'all need to see this. Now, as you see before you, this was the Titans versus the New England game. Okay, this was last year's playoffs. This was in the first. Yeah, this was last year's. I think this was earlier in the season. This was before the playoffs. So this was earlier in the season, right? These two teams played each other in the division round of playoffs because Tennessee made it. They were 9-7. New England was 12-4. But look at this formation, right? Here you got Tom Brady, right? Here you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady's right here, right? He's lined up. Here are the two people who are at running back, and you got the slot receiver here. This is wearing number 80, but you got the tight end. You got another you got a receiver right here. I think this is Julian Edelman. You got Edelman right here, and this is the other tight end, and you got the other number 2. This is this is the 1. This is the 2. This is the tight end. This is the 3 receiver. This is a slot, right? This is a legal formation. But look at the linemen, right? The guys you see before you, right? This is like 5 or 6 men, right? These are offensive linemen. You ain't gonna see neither one of these guys lined up in these positions, right? You'll never see this guy switch over and play like he's a number 2 receiver. That's not going to work because it's illegal. Okay? So, Joke, if you're watching, right, since you use the Titans uniforms, right, this is a proper formation. You did not follow suit at all. You did whatever you wanted to do, right? What you did was against the rules. And again, I don't know who allowed him to get away with that lineup. First of all, man, if I'm working for EA, they need to change that now, right? They need to start, who's ever playing Madden Ultimate Team, because I know you still got people playing the game, you need to start updating the game now, right? You need to read, what you need to do, you need to get an update, and you need to modify, you need to edit certain formation shifts at it, right? People don't need to be changing certain players' positions. If you're using a receiver and your number is not 80 through 89 or 10 through 19, you should not be a receiver. Offensive lineman cannot play receiver, right? That should not be allowed. Again, Joke should immediately been disqualified, right? They should have told Joke you cannot use that lineup or you're not gonna be able to play, right? If Joke couldn't compete in that tournament using a normal lineup like he did against Drini, that man don't deserve to be winning no bowl game. Because again, Joke lost for the last 10 years. That means he's been losing tournaments since Madden 12. Okay? Again, Ryan Moody on his channel already done said it already, right? It's obvious. The way Joke played against Drini was in the same way on this tournament. But again, man, I understand the hustle, right? Joke felt because he's at his home, can't nobody stop him. So Joke could have just easily been using a PC where he modded the roster. He took his Madden Ultimate Team lineup and went in there and started editing before he played his opponents. Before he played Pavin and before he played D-Craft. Because those were the last 2 guys he had to go through to win this tournament. Pavin and D-Craft were supposed to be the best 2 players. But the way D-Craft got blown out, something is odd about that too. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's something weird about that. Because D-Craft didn't have a chance at all. The way he played. That means Joke might have actually told them not to say nothing. For all you know, Joke might have made a deal with those opponents. He said, don't say nothing. I'm finna use this lineup. Right? I'm going to pay you this money and don't say anything. Meanwhile, Joke is making EA look terrible. He's making NFL look bad. And it's bad enough as it is. And those who are subscribed to the channel, you know what I'm talking about. Every year you get these gematria idiots, right? These people use these numbers, right, to say that NFL is scripted and rigged. Right? It's bad enough the NFL gets a bad rap because you got people who really think that the game is scripted. They really think the game is rigged. The game is not played fairly. These referees don't call games down the line fairly at all. Teams like the Cleveland cheat all the time. That's not always the truth. Again, in real life, if any coach would do what Joke was doing, and they were trying to sub in offensive linemen and try to be sneaky with it, again, the game, they'll be under investigation by Roger Goodell and the entire NFL. Officials, the opposite team, plus these analysts, right? Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, right? Stephen A. Smith and Max Cameron, they be talking about it on their shows, right? It'll be a big old scandal. Not to forget to mention the team will be getting penalized some kind of way for doing that. So again, I had to show y'all why Joke don't deserve to win that Madden Bowl. Right? The Madden Bowl he just won, that title bowl, you need to get that up. As far as I'm concerned, that Madden Bowl don't count. It just don't. He did not win that game fairly. On his offense, he used a formation that was not like this at all. Again, look at Brady. Look at Bill Belichick's lineup, right? This dude got actual receivers. You got Julian Edelman right here at receiver, right? So if he was to do a toss, and Brady was to fake and toss it to either one of these guys, Edelman and this guy here are able to block, right? You have a tight end here. You got a receiver right here. You have the number 2. This is the number 3, right? This is the number 3, and this is the running back. I think this is James White. Okay. Yeah, so I think this might have been Cordell Patterson. This might have been 2 years ago. This might have been last year, might have been 2 years, because Cordell Patterson is on another team. Unless he left. Yeah, I think that might have been a year ago. But anyways, still, this is a legal formation. What Joke did, he substituted these guys for extra offensive linemen. That's all he did. He had another offensive lineman on this side. Y'all need to go back and watch that those clips. It's there. It's on Madden, right? Y'all need to go see this. If you don't believe me, go watch that lineup. I showed you in my last video, man. He was not supposed to do that at all. The receivers he did have, he did not start at all. Because Eli Madden should have been under center. He had a punter basically snapping the ball. You can't do that. When it's 4th down, it's time for you to punt the ball. It's the punter's job to kick the ball. The punter can't not be handing off throws because you're not lined up in that formation. Right? He's not running a fake special teams. He's not doing that. Because Joe can only run the ball, he wants to use a lineup that gives him an advantage. No, Joke, I'm calling you out now. Sir, you cheated the game. You need to do the right thing and give that money back. That belt, you need to ship that back to EA. Right? This tournament needs to be redid all over again, right? And if you're going to do a tournament, you can't do it by quarantine. Because Joke just proved that people are willing to cheat their way to win. That was not a fair game at all. Again, I showed you the rules, right? On Google, you can see it for yourself, right? You can really, the rules I just showed you what the NFL showed you, right? That guy had people's numbers who was 70. You can't be a receiver running a 60 number, let alone 70. Having Joe Thomas at tight end, that was illegal. He's not a tight end. That's not his position in real life, right? Because again, you got a left tackle here, right? You got the center, you got the left end, you got the right end, right? And look at the defense right here, right? Well, all Joke did was give the defense a disadvantage because these cornerbacks can't get past these linemen. So when you got Gale Sayers, all Gale Sayers got to do is run through a gap. And even if it's bad enough, Franco Harris is a big old tank, man. That dude was heavy. Franco Harris can break tackles on his Madden card, man. His break tackles is up there, right? So again, you playing Madden Ultimate Team. Your offensive line is already OP as it is, but you got extra offensive linemen with Franco Harris and Gale Sayers running right through there. So, of course, they're going to break through tackles. It's going to be hard to tackle those guys because the cornerbacks and safeties getting wore out by these linemen. And these linemen are going past 2 yards. That's what I'm saying. You can't do that. That's cheating the system. You're cheating the game. It don't take skill to do that. No, Joe, I can't respect you at all, brother. I can't. You're not a real Madden player. You can't throw at all. That's been proven. Drini picked that guy off. He doesn't do a good job throwing the ball. That means Joke don't take time to really learn the game at all. He don't take time to really learn his quarterback. Right? You just want to run the ball all day long. That's not real football, brother. It's just not. Because if a team wants to try to just run the football all day long, they're going to get shut down. They're going to get shut down. They probably won't even score. It'll be like 33-0. This New England Patriot team you see before you, that team has won Super Bowls, not only running football, but throwing the football well, because Brady's that good of a quarterback. Brady got an arm. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. Brady gonna throw the ball to where his quarterbacks his receivers got to get to. Same thing with running backs. New England ain't never won a game just running football all the time. Tennessee didn't do it either. Remember, Ryan Tannehill made plays downfield. It wasn't just Derrick Henry running it all the time. Yeah, the old type teams run the football is when they're up by a touchdown. You trying to run down the play clock and rely on the defense to get a stop. But when a game is close, right? And a team, especially if you're only up by 3, you go have to pass the ball, right? You got to challenge the defense on the air sometime. All right? Real football means a team going to challenge a team on the air. They're not going to always run the ball because too many defenses know how to adjust. And that's why I go back to saying, man, if the opponents Joker's play against was really that good, again, they would have been to recognize that lineup. And they would have called Joke out immediately. Or they would have switched in goal line defense. Right? They would have been subbing in extra linebackers. Or the men he playing against don't realize what's going on themselves. They thinking it's all legal. These are people who don't watch the football game in real life. Madden they got a bunch of people competing in this for that money, right? They're just strictly video game players. They don't have a favorite team. They can't tell you, they can't name a receiver from the DB. They don't watch the game in real life. They're not fans of it at all. Right? Joke trying to find a way to hustle to get that money, man. But he did it cheap. He scammed it. And see, in the streets, man, that's how people get killed, man. That's how people get seriously hurt doing that. It's like if you was playing dice or you playing poker, right? And you try to cheat somebody by weighing the dice or trying to count cards, man. You could lose your life for doing that. That's in real life. Joke needs to understand what he's doing is dangerous. But of course, Joke ain't playing nobody in the hood. He not playing nobody gangster like that. Because if somebody that really plays this game in real life, they would have been called Joke out for that. No, anybody that played Joke, y'all need to go and see this video. Anyways, folks, that's it, man. Like, subscribe, comment if you like, man. Stay blessed, stay tuned. I'll see you soon.